What's up everyone? Today we're reviewing How to Avoid a Climate Disaster by Bill Gates. Okay, look, I know that a lot of people think that this guy is an evil dictator who in his spare time hangs out with pedophile rings and dabbles in mass genocide. And to be honest, I don't think that's the case at all. But despite what you may think of this technologist and the guy that has saved hundreds of millions of lives to date, the truth is that he's put out a pretty dope book. The book's main point is pretty much that every year we release 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases into our atmosphere and that we need to be releasing 0 greenhouse gases if we are to halt climate change and the destruction that it will bring. This book is for everyone, legit, whether you're a climate skeptic or not. There's heaps of useful information in this book that I really think the average person wouldn't know, and even the climate conscious would be surprised to learn. Now, I'm gonna come clean. Before reading this book, I really didn't know a lot about climate change. I mean, yes, I know how it happens and I know the buzzwords like greenhouse gases, CO2, ice caps are melting, something about polar bears. But seriously, this book opened up the topic to me in a way that was 1, compelling, and 2, more importantly, really easy to understand. And when I say that, I don't just mean the science behind climate change, I actually mean all of its complexities. There is so much more to fighting climate change than wind turbines and solar panels. To fight climate change effectively, Bill explains that we need an interplay of technological innovation, scientific research, economic and government policies, and to be honest, a change in our mindsets and behaviors. To help make better sense of all of this, Bill lists the 5 biggest contributors of our emissions. To make them easier to remember, he names them as such: how we plug in, how we make things, how we grow things, how we get around, how we keep cool and stay warm. Now, the first half of this book fleshes out each of those factors in depth and it gives them a chapter each. The book, for the most part, is pretty jargon free and it feels as if it was written to reach as wide an audience as possible. Now, obviously, I can't speak for the entire population, but it definitely did seem like an easy read and it felt like, for myself at least, it was very easy to understand. The second half of the book lays out plans or goals that we should aim to achieve as soon as possible. These include things like setting green government policies and lowering green premiums, which is the term Bill uses to basically make a distinction between the level in price between green products and traditional products like gasoline. I must say that for all the shit that Bill Gates has copped over the last year, in this book, he really does sound like a guy who's just genuinely concerned about the planet. And his tone feels as if he's trying to tell the reader just how severe this situation is without kind of overstepping that line and being this kind of dictator that people have been saying that he is. Now, as for things that I didn't like about this book, I have to be honest and say that reading it, there wasn't really any part of it where I was like, oh crap, this doesn't really make sense or this is off. And to be fair, that might just be because I don't know enough of the science behind climate change. And even the way the book was written just really appealed to me. And I gotta say, for a non-fiction book, it was very enjoyable. I guess if I had to really nitpick, one suggestion I might make would be that it could have been a little bit more persuasive on his end if maybe he had have picked some of the major beliefs from climate skeptics and then just gone through those and broken them down one by one, just so that people who are reading the book who are climate skeptics might be more inclined to change their minds. Whilst a lot of what he said did make logical sense, I just feel that if you have that strong belief that climate change isn't real, it might take a little bit more than this book to really kind of challenge your views. Other than that, I really do think this book was fantastic. I hope it sparks a lot of minds to think about climate change holistically and realize that whilst wind and solar panels are great, it really is only a very, very small part of the climate change solution, and that there's a lot more that we're gonna have to do both individually and as a society to really put a dent in this problem. Anyway, that's my quick review, guys. If you've got any other recommendations, please let me know in the comments. Stay safe and happy. I'll see you guys next week.